welcome to Paul Stainton's Peterborough. And as you can see with me is Gillian Beasley. She's the Chief Executive of Peterborough City Council and Cambridgeshire County Council. Now, normally she's a very busy lady. In these times, she's extraordinarily busy, and I'm pleased she's given us 10 minutes of her time to talk to us today. Thank you for doing that, Gillian. Have you ever in your life known a time like this with so much work, so many things to do, and so many people to look after?
No, I don't think that I ever have known a time like this. It's unprecedented, but it's also very different to the kind of day job I would have described to you before. So it is unrelenting in terms of the responsibilities that we've got as a council, but also the responsibilities that we have with all of the other people that work together to try and keep the show on the road and try and support mainly vulnerable people, people who are shielded, and keep things going, if you like. And I think, you know, people ask me, well, it must be great pressure, and it is, but as I was saying to you, I think the real critical thing is the willingness, the sheer willingness of people to help out. You know, I think the government talked about altruism. I think there was a press conference, and I've seen that in spadefuls, and it's come from staff, it's come from the community, it's come from other agencies, and that willingness has made it work, I think. And it's not just one person, it's not just one organisation. It's that sheer, and it's a sheer joy of that for me, because there's times when you do hit a bit rock bottom, you're tired, you've worked a huge number of hours, and then there's a story that comes in of somebody who's done something amazing, and you just go, wow, you know. And it really makes me realise that when the chips are down, the general position people take is to help and to want to help out, and they will go so far that extra mile to do things. And, you know, just simple things, but important things. Just listening to somebody, for example, who might be a bit down, giving them half an hour of their time just to talk things through. So, yeah, intense, hard, making sure that we support, we shield people, that they're kept healthy, they're kept safe. But the massive effort of everybody stepping up has been inspiring for me.
And the way the council works must have been completely transformed, and people's working lives at the council and all the workers that work for you must have been transformed, and your life is completely transformed, isn't it?
Yeah, and I was trying to describe it to somebody the other day, and you know, councils work where you get a bit of government guidance, it's handed down, this is the way that government would like us to do something, we kind of read it, we operate, you know, we write a plan, and then we write an action plan, that might take us a couple of months. Well, I would say probably in the first 3 weeks of this, we would probably have got thousands of pages of government guidance that we would get at all times of day and night. We'd read it. And I remember one coming at 11 o'clock at night thinking, I'm just too tired to read that. I'm going to read it next morning. I read it next morning with colleagues, because it's not just me reading it. We worked out what we needed to do. We had a meeting at 8 o'clock. We tasked out people, and then we delivered it that day. That is the pace and the speed at which we work at. You know, I was saying to you earlier, I was sat this morning, I've got 2 pieces of guidance through. We're going to do some work around tracing people once the lockdown comes over. We're now working out how to do that. It's liberating in some ways, and it demonstrates that even with short periods of time, if you apply your mind, if you've got good people around you, and you know, it comes from the heart with us. It is about protecting people, and if we read it, we operationalise it, we want to do it well, we want to make sure that we don't lose anybody in the system, that they get the support. So if somebody's running out of food, we get food to them. If they're running out of medicines, we get medicines to them. If they need somebody to talk to, we've got somebody there to talk to them. So, you know, I haven't minded that, because I've realised, and the team realise and appreciate that this is so important to get this right. And, you know, if somebody's been at home for a long period of time, and some people have, that loneliness is something we can help out with. We want people to contact us. We have got the time to be in here. We have got time, for example, the British Red Cross, I heard today, have got a befriending service. They are fantastic. You know, they've got people who can sit, listen, and chat and talk through things. We're starting a service next week, because there's some of our shielded people need some maintenance, need gardening, they need dog walking. we've got volunteers who are absolutely up for that kind of thing. We've got to maintain the social distancing. We've got to keep people safe. So we have to have public health on our shoulder, quite rightly so, making sure we get these things right. But we aren't short of people who will help out. So please, if people are feeling low, they're feeling worried, they're anxious, please contact us. We want to help you out.
And they do that through the hub, do they? Or because you've set up a hub, haven't you?
There is the hub details, which they can, if they go onto our website, they'll find the easy route into to get that support and help. But please don't be alone. Don't feel you can't get any help. We will help you. And it will be people probably maybe from your own community that are doing that, people who know you, know the area. So we're really sensitive to that. So and there are enough people to help out, because as I've said, we have been overwhelmed with offers of support. I was down at our hub yesterday, and one company donated 5,000 Easter eggs because they were just so impressed. They wanted to treat, it's just that level of stuff that happens, and that happens day in, day out. And we put out stories about that because we want to thank people, not only in generosity in money and in food and etc., but in their time. And time is so valuable at this point in time.
You mentioned how hard you're working, not just you, all the staff under you at the council.
Not just me, no.
Yeah, and that's extreme pressure, isn't it? And incredible pressure. How long can you and the people that work at the council continue at that pace, and what effect does it have on people?
I think we look after each other. We do have support networks. There is a lot of laughter that goes on. Even though we might not be together, we are together in the sense of in virtual meetings. We've learned Zoom, we do a lot of Zoom,
like this, Zoom.
Yeah, we've learned technology. I mean, that's been amazing. And
you're on a different planet today, Gillian, aren't you? On a different planet.
I am. I've chosen this as my background. Yeah, I know. We've had a bit of fun with this. We changed our backgrounds in the course of meetings, and there is that and talking. We've done that campaign about talking is important. We cover for each other. If somebody's got a lot in, somebody will step in. And that's true not just at my level, but it's across the whole organisation. And because we've got good volunteering, people can step in and help out. I think welfare of our staff, of our partners, and of everybody out there is the number one priority. The thing I think about every day, day in, day out. And you can sense sometimes, even though you may be remote, it's harder to see body language and see mood and temperament, but you can tell. You can tell when that voice is not as perky, or that person is sometimes a bit forgetful, and you think that's pressure. And you've got to call it out and support that person. Say, I think you're not quite today. And people do that with me as well, to be fair. So that's what's really emerged in this, is a real caring environment. And I think, the care, the inspiring stuff that people are doing is what's kept a lot of people going. And, we think about the NHS workers on the front line, our care workers on the front line, our social workers on the front line all the time, and working out how we support them and keep messages going to them. I've just signed off some mental health training and support to all of my staff across Cambridgeshire and Peterborough, just at this time to start, so they can start to work out how they're feeling and just make sure that they're on top of what they're doing. And this home working thing, we've sent out some guidance about how to get up and be purposeful at home as well. So I've never had to think in this way before, but it has been quite liberating in some ways, not being hidebound by rules that I've been stuck in, and being able to do things, work it out and do it and see the results of it. So and I think my colleagues say that too.
Yeah, you mentioned your staff, you mentioned care and caring for people. It must be difficult as well to provide the same level of care with home care and even in care homes and things like that. How are you getting around that? Because you must have ill people as well on your staff.
Well, that's others will work that out, but they are. I don't think the level of care is diminished. I think people have found the ways to do that and to do it well. Because I think I'm just there's been issues around care homes and deaths in care homes. I can tell you our care home providers and They got a letter yesterday from the director and from some of our politicians. They've done an incredible job in difficult circumstances, and I know that they are wholly committed to the welfare of their residents, as are the care workers. And then they're giving personal care, but they're also giving emotional care at the same time. And I don't think they would have ever have known they'd been put in this situation, but people have risen to that challenge in the most incredible way. And that is, as I say, I use the word quite a lot, but it is inspiring. And we hear stories day in and day out of that work that they're doing, and that's that will continue for a while to come, because I think those that are shielded will have to be protected for a little while longer, and we're going to be there. We're not going to go away. We're going to be there to protect them.
It's going to change us, though, isn't it, this epidemic? It's going to change the way Peterborough's run. It's going to change the way we live our lives. And, the longer solitary confinement continues, people are going to struggle mentally, aren't they, with their health?
Yeah. It's really difficult because we don't know how long the government are going to keep us in this kind of quite strict lockdown. And, I can't say, because I don't know, I'm not privy to what they're saying. But I think whatever happens, those that are the most vulnerable are going to have to be protected, because we don't have a vaccine yet. And and if there is still community, we've got to protect them. But one of the things, there's a new service being offered next week, which is about leisure and pleasure and learning. So we're going to do e-learning. There's going to be something about delivering ingredients to people's houses so they can do a cookery class the next day. So the creativity, I think that's really great. So you can join a virtual, cookery class, and we can deliver the ingredients the day before, and then everybody can cook it together. So we are thinking about how we keep those kind of people in a position where they are doing productive things, and we're asking them, what would you like us to, you can't go out, but what could we do to help out? So out of this kind of difficult scenario, the opportunities and creativity comes. But I'm not pretending it's easy for some people, because it isn't. And that's why the support that we're giving, the befriending, the talking, the keeping in contact, the making sure that they're okay, is also the other side that we've got to keep going. And we are committed to doing that. And we are, with the volunteers and with the effort that people have volunteered to us, we can keep it going.
The future, we don't know, do we, what it holds? Are you confident for the future? Are you worried about the future, whether it's personally, staff-wise, or the people of Peterborough?
You can't. I don't think you can be not worried about what it's going to be like as you emerge, as we as a society emerge out of this. And yes, there's going to be some very difficult things that we're going to have to handle and tackle. And I think what I always say is that however difficult it is, we've got to plan to do it well. We've got to plan to support people well and do our absolute best to do that. And there will be some opportunities. People are already talking about maintaining some of the things around the environment. Can we keep out of our cars, or can we, the air quality, and that's for us to really, as a society, and for people to think about behaviours and whether they want to change. So yes, I am worried. I am concerned. But that's not going to debilitate me. That's not going to paralyse me into inaction. It's going to do the opposite. It's going to actually galvanise it into action to make sure that we do support people well, even in those difficult times.
We need you to stay well, because you're working at about 1 million miles an hour. So, you need to take some time off as well. You can't keep doing that, otherwise things are going to fall down. So
we are, one of the things I've learned in my life is that, you've got, when you're working at this pace, you've got to think about yourself, and other people think about me, and I think about them. So I don't want people to feel that we are going to collapse. We're not. It is tiring. It is exhausting. But we've got good support mechanisms around us, and we've got all these amazing people doing amazing things. We've got our councillors, we've got MPs, we've got community groups, we've got parish councils, we've got it's just incredible, really. I could go on forever about this, but it is true. And you can see it, feel it, and appreciate it. And we say thank you every day to all those people who are really pulling out the stops to make sure that the most vulnerable society are really well supported.
And just finally, obviously, all those people doing all those things, what would you like to say to the public of Peterborough, to your staff, to everybody that's pulling together? What's your message to them?
It's what I've just said. I say almost every day, thank you. You're amazing. And I've seen Peterborough people rise to a challenge like never before. And that gives me good heart for the worries that I've got going forward, and gives me the energy and the enthusiasm to make sure that what I can do in my job and in what I'm doing, I can do the best that I can for them.
Gillian, thanks for joining us today. I know you're busy. I know you've got to get back to it. Much appreciated. That's Gillian Beasley. She's Chief Executive of Peterborough City Council and Cambridgeshire County Council. She's orchestrating the help that is being given to all people in society at the moment, and implementing everything that the government's asking her to do. Thank you for watching.